Yeah, a little bit of current to starboard.
Yep, that's what I'm seeing in the marine snow.
Okay, I'm backing towards you.
I'm not sure I'm a big fan of these snipe eels. My snake phobia is setting in.
Or a little bit of port. Yeah, I'm coming up a little bit.
Did you guys see that flash in high pack?
No.
That was odd. Oh, you know what? I have toggle on.
This is dive number 14 for us. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, it was a USBL jump, and I had
it sure is.
It's just all of a sudden.
So it jumped with it and came back.
The numbers have chalked up.
Okay, I'm still backing.
And we've had some very diverse habitats that we've seen in our travels on this expedition.
We certainly have.
So use Z5s to around.
From giant bed forms to rocky scarps to huge mounds made of coral rubble. Areas directly under the Gulf Stream, to the side of it,
all right,
well beyond.
Yeah, so you're going to have a lot more response.
Looks like a sea star.
Yep, just keep going back.
Today's dive will end at about 300 meters. I think that's the shallowest we will have been diving. And our max was at 3,300 meters, so.
We've covered a lot of depth ranges as well as habitat types.
And distances from shore. We're just 26 miles from Cape Hatteras now, and we were almost 200 miles from Georgia, South Carolina, early on in the cruise.
Okay, I'm still backing.
All right, I think I see you in the
There's
cam
some
here.
great video clips and still images on the website.
Wow.
If you go back to the home page for the Windows to the Deep 2018 expedition on oceanexplorer.noaa.gov.
Copy. All right, I'm going to stay right here.
You can check out the video and image gallery.
Have visual again.
Really beautiful images and some wonderfully produced short clips by our video team, sort of the highlight of each day.
All right, I'm holding.
We really enjoy seeing those.
We have a little viewing of the new videos at 7 or 8 each evening, and it's a great time.
Bridge, this is ROV nav.
Go ahead, RV nav.
I just wanted to inform you that the vehicles are on the bottom, and I'd like to verify that center rotation is set to the A-frame.
Shifting center rotation.
One of the primary objectives of this mission
I'd like to also discuss a bailout
is
plan,
to find
we would like to have a bailout plan of
habitat where deep sea corals and sponges congregate, and try to identify where those types of locations might occur throughout the southeastern U.S. by ground truthing different areas that we think may be suitable habitat.
All right, let's push ahead.
We also, it's good to find out where they don't live and compare those areas across the region.
I'm going to zoom out on high pack real quick, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hold off here a second, Ron. What's the bearing to the first move?
The bearing to the first waypoint is a 216, 217.
Very soft sediment down there.
All right, if you want to dial in your Z bias.
Okay.
And then get set down and get the white balance finished.
Copy.
The water column is so full of life here.
And that'll mean a lot of food for the organisms on the seabed.
Wow, you can see the snipe eel.
Wow, they're long.
They really are long and skinny.
Yeah, that's Nemicthes, or I should say Nemicthiidae.
Sit down very softly.
And I remember, yeah, when I did some work in the
Copy.
New England canyons, we saw tons of those. I'd never seen so many in my life, and this seems like the second time to see so many.
And there's another barracuda, right?
Yeah.
There he goes.
Yeah, there's a couple different kinds. There, at least a couple different kinds that I'm seeing in here. One that's a longer, skinnier one relative to the other kind, but there's probably more than two. They're just so fast, it's hard to ID them.
So I had 26. Does that sound about what you've been?
Sounds about right.
Okay.
There's a fair amount of current, so.
And there's also myctophids, smaller.
All right, so then I'll set down as soft as I can.
Certainly reflect the light. Beautiful.
Look like blades on a knife or something.
Yeah. Or tinsel.
Do you think that that's a usual behavior we're seeing there, or is he's blinded by our lights, probably?
I don't know about blinded, but one of the common behaviors of water column organisms in unusual situations is to swim downwards. So it's not surprising, given the,
look at all
interaction with the ROV, that things are trying to swim down and then they're just running into the seafloor.
Right.
And then they just try again. So I don't think that is normal.
Wow, looks like
wow, look at that
pout
Wow.
eels, and we saw, I think that was a black belly rosefish.
I think so too. We saw it off in the distance.
These are those longer pout
Oh,
eels.
eel pout, nice.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, that's right. It's eel pout now, not pout eel.
Either way. It's a ctenophore in the...
All right, Roland, you're clear for the general announcement and to finish up your white balance.
This is Okeanos video engineer Roland Bryan making the general announcement to all those on the ship and the shore. This reminder to everyone that all audio associated with this dive will be recorded with the archive video, as well as being streamed ashore via the satellite and the internet. Keep that in mind as we proceed with the dive today, and enjoy the dive. Thank you.
It's going to be an interesting dive.
Yeah. Pilots, while he's doing that, I'd just like to discuss the bailout plan I set. I said due east.
White balancing.
The ship is
and
already
color
heading in a
balancing
similar
the
direction
camera.
to that, so they can just come forward. And
Do this
you said
at the
that the
beginning
current
of every
was coming
dive.
from the starboard to the port, correct? So
And that
if we
helps
head
bring
due east, we should
the beautiful
move away from the wall,
colors
but also
and
out into deeper water, and also
scenery
have
that
it
you
easy on
see
the ship
to
and
life.
with the current. Does that sound reasonable?
Sounds good.
Or to correct color.
And just for the pilots, if we have to bail, I'm just going to turn to starboard.
Okay.
Pilots, can you reconfirm your lighting?
And every day as the video is rolling, we have several members of the video team here, and they are taking clips, short video clips,
like
but also grabbing still images.
That's much better.
And at the end of the day, Cheryl and I get to look at all those still images and select several that we can put into our dive summary. And it's been, at first we were told we needed to select 4 representative images for the dives, and we just said there's no way only 4 could represent these dives. So I think we've been up to 20 different pictures.
We
but it's
kind
fun.
of whittled it down, and it's so hard to choose.
It's really hard.
And then 5 at the very end. I want to say around between
and I
waypoint
think
3
about
and 4 there
10
should be
of
a
those
And last night we
get
were
sent
able
off to
see quite a few
not
seeps
the ones
in the
that we
area,
picked
so there
so
may
much,
be more
but
than just
the
the one
more
that we saw here.
How far away is
photo-worthy images are sent to the web, and then some of those
we
are
got
posted
about
Getting a lot of
550
dust
for
meters
everyone
away
to see
from waypoint
with
4 to where
captions so
we're
you
at.
know what you're
Blacks out.
looking at.
There's
So
so
it's-
much we can do about it rolling.
The total distance will be about 650 meters.
I could probably back off on the verts a little bit, I guess.
What do you
It's gonna
have?
be-
I mean, you can. You might come off the bottom, but you can try that.
Okay.
So if you look at Sirius rolling, this is the backscatter. So yeah, him just sitting there on the bottom is gonna kick up some dust.
Yeah, I'm coming up now.
Just put in auto XY
Okay.
and auto depth. Yeah, take HD2.
Okay.
So Tina 4 floating in front of us. Wow, I don't think
push
we've
forward
seen
a little bit.
so many shrimp in the water column before.
You know, a couple meters, maybe a D2 length.
You found where you were. Oh, that's a big squid.
In the lower right, it looks like a black belly rosefish is waiting for us to touch down.
Squid and Sirius, this camera.
And on stream 2, there's a squid just below the Sirius
Pretty big one.
ROV.
Video's clear.
And you can tell by looking down from the Sirius cam at
Thank you, video.
D2, the Deep Discoverer ROV, that the water is full of marine snow here and other organisms. I don't think we've seen this many suggested shrimp in one place on our expedition so far.
Quite sure we haven't.
So this is the difference in those two shadings I just did. That was the one before we sat down. That was after.
Pilot, would you like me to bump your sonar into 30 meters
And
rather
we
than
are
50?
still getting in
Or are you
position.
happy
The
with
pilots
No,
are
30 sounds great.
getting
Okay.
everything
Yeah.
oriented.
You're at 30 now.
And we'll
Co-pilot,
begin
you're
our
still happy
dive
with
track
50?
soon.
Yes.
We're
right,
approximately
co-pilot.
at a depth of 520 meters. That was the proposed. We're closer to 510 meters, but we're still hovering. And we will be traversing the backbone of a ridge within the Hatteras Submarine Canyon. And we are 26 miles off the coast
Just
of
a little bit quieter.
Cape Hatteras.
Just a little bit quieter. We're hearing your all's voices, Carrie. No, I was talking to Clipper. Science was looking over at me.
I think you have pilot latch video.
All right.
Sorry, pilot.
We're good to go here, Andy, if you want to start looking around.
All right. So,
I'm going to bring out your swing arms.
copy. So looking
There's
at the
another
sonar
squid.
D2s, it looks like
Yeah.
something like 230 nav. It's right up the hill.
Yeah.
And
Does that match, Kathy?
Stephanie and I were talking. We didn't have her see that
218,
squid.
but we can follow this ridge up and kind
Was
of
it different than the one that we saw earlier?
Thinking,
It looked like
30
clear.
meters at
Yeah,
And,
very thin.
like 2.5.
Was it on Sirius's view?
No,
or
it was swimming. It swam right past
30
the main
meters
camera.
at
Darn. If it was
at
totally clear, it was
225.
probably a
And then
member
as
of
we
the
get
family
closer to the
Cranchiidae,
steeper contours,
but there
we'll
are
drop it down to
many
about
genera
20
in that
meter
family,
moves,
so
so we're
it
not
doesn't really narrow it down for you. But
going
the
too far.
Cranchiidae
Yeah,
are
Brachiotus.
generally
Does that work with you?
Brachiotus.
Well, that's
Oh,
a
okay, so that's not a
Brachiotus.
Cranchiid. Okay, so Mike saw it. And
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
We'll call it in.
Thanks,
That's
Mike.
funny because
All right.
Yeah.
we saw that same species in
Right,
Antarctica,
this is
so
already down.
my guess
Wow.
would be that they're actually not the same
Gonna
species.
start pushing out.
So it must
going
be
We would like to ship
Come
it
a long
to
way.
beanie eye here and
it will be 30
different species in the
meters
Southern
at
Ocean.
225
Brachiotus
degrees, speed
beanie
0
eye.
decimal 2. please.
That's a great name.
I know.
Like a beanie eye.
0 meters, 305, speed decimal 2.
Good copy, Bridge. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mike, did you happen to see the squid in the Sirius's view about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes ago? It had fins the whole length of the mantle. It didn't look like an
Good
Octopus
copy, Bridge. Thank you.
or a,
Pilots, that move is underway. Co-pilot, you should
didn't
feel
look like an
that
Octopus
pretty soon here
to me, but
due to the shallow depth.
So we're beginning our transect up this steep edge of the canyon. We have about 720 meters of our dive track, a planned dive track,
So
and we're
pretty
going
much
to see.
everything here we can zoom in on because we haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Let's see, slopes of up to 20, no, even more than that.
I'd like to get a snipe bill up close.
Is it
Say again,
30%
video?
slopes?
I'd like to see a snipe bill up close.
30-degree slopes.
30 degree.
Well, 12. This site is more
It's
like
very rare
12
to
to
be that
21
range
degrees,
slopes.
but
Do you see one?
that's
The one
just
that
from
just
the
rock
course
bottom.
bathymetry.
that
Well,
guy?
not course, it's very good bathymetry, but
Okay, I'll back up
we're
a little
likely
bit.
to see areas
You'll see lots
a
more.
little more than that
Okay.
as we get to the top.
I can check this with science too, see what they're after.
That's a nice shrimp there.
Okay, I'll come in for a closer look. Watch lead.
Nope, sorry, I turned on. Go ahead,
Copy.
pilot.
Oh, I was just saying, watch lead. Do you want me to get in for a closer look at that shrimp?
Sure, that would be great.
Okay.
Going to take a closer look at this shrimp. Quite a bit bigger than the suggested shrimp that are swimming in the water column.
If he makes contact with that fish, he might eat it.
looks like a tiny, is it a tiny grenadier right in front of him? Or is that in the water column? I can't tell.
No, I think
Oh, yeah, no,
bumped
it's in the-
into it, though.
It's in the water column.
Looked like he bumped into it.
Okay, you can go in video.
that's a rat tail, and then there's several.
Look at how tiny some of those
All right.
eel pouts
coming
are.
around.
Yeah, wow,
It's pretty
they're
quick.
over by the burrow. They're
Yeah.
really tiny.
Maybe that's who makes the burrows.
Huh.
Look at them all. There's one in the foreground on the left.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
I've never seen that many in one spot.
Sediment's gray right there where you touched down.
An eel pout nursery.
Underneath.
Pilot, let's get a snap view of this eel pout to the right or any of them really, just to look at their coloration. It's a little different from what we've seen more commonly. I think we've seen this one.
Curvy fish in the bottom.
Okay. Happy to do that watch lead.
Okay.
What could you guide me a little bit more?
Well, there are a lot of the eel-like fish on the seabed, so really there's one right in the center, I think.
Okay.
Well, no, maybe not.
There's one on the right corner and then one on the left side.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm
9 o'clock.
Lining up on one right now,
Yeah.
kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to go in video?
There's two there, yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And there's one to his left, just off screen, that has a little different angle to it, so we could see the sides of it as well. This is a good dorsal view.
Josh, want to see if you can maybe do anything with the lights?
These are longer than some of the ones we've seen.
The only thing I can do is turn lights off. Because it's all backscatter in the water column. So I can turn the, I'm going to adjust some of your lights here.
A little baby one to the right.
That's no swing arms.
Didn't see a change in the lightness
Okay,
at all.
come out video.
Is that under the water there, under the sediment?
Some nice burrows.
Yeah.
Can we zoom back into that thing behind the fish?
Wow, look at all those suggested. Oh, and there went another squid just past in the left corner of the screen. And Mike Vecchione is working on a manuscript about the tectonic crustaceans from the Bear Seamount, and the Eusorgestes arcticus is by far the most abundant shrimp there.
Wow.
And speaking of squid, Mike Vecchione also has video and has published on the summer spawning aggregations of B. beanii, the squid that we saw off of Cape Hatteras. So
here,
close to here.
Get a different one.
Good morning.
I kicked up a little sediment there, watch lead. I'm going to move forward a little bit and get a detail on another one.
Okay. Yeah, we can just keep on moving and...
Copy that.
Is that ink that we just went through?
I think it might have been.
It was so green. I thought it was algae or something that had drifted downward.
That's quite a big hole.
Very shiny subjects on the...
Oh,
that's a great picture.
That is got to be a paralipidid. Oh, and then Nemicthes in the back, on like back left.
Ah, that's a long one.
Very productive waters here in this canyon.
It's beautiful.
Ah, they are beautiful.
Is that an eating behavior?
And Stephanie was explaining that these fish, when they get a little nervous, scared,
really
they'll just instinctually try to swim down.
Like
and so that's probably what's happening with the barracuda here.
Oh.
Yeah, and Amanda Demopoulos from USGS pointed out that we saw the barracuda in the northern canyons.
Squid at the top.
Yeah, another
Just off
squid.
screen.
Yep, in the distance.
Yeah, on the right.
Yeah, the top right. Hopefully we'll get a really good view of those at some point.
Zoom from here.
And I don't know if Mike could tell us what month that spawning aggregation
across
was.
the front.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, bridge move complete.
Is that the same as what we're
yeah,
seeing?
Look at the one on the right here. Maybe he'll show us his chromatophores.
I love the way he elbows in.
Yeah, see, oh my gosh, so many Surgestids.
So many suggested, so many eel pouts.
Yeah, see, that behavior of the squid resting on the sediment on its quote-unquote elbows, I think that is a sort of typical, at least semi-typical behavior. Unlike the barracuda running into the sediment.
There's a eel pout with his head sticking out of the burrow.
Huh.
I don't know if that means he made the burrow, but just under. Could we do a quick zoom of right,
Eel pout just above the squid?
just left of center now.
Left of center?
Mm-hmm.
So just to the right of the squid?
Just above the squid.
It's almost dead center now.
Okay.
And it's just a head poking out of the burrow.
Oh, yeah, top left.
Yeah, now it's in the top left.
Okay, I see.
You see him, he's starting to come out.
There's also one on the right below him, on the right side of that mound, just
there's
hugging
so
the
many
mound.
out, but they're making these mounds.
I think the one with the head sticking out is different from the ones that are fully out.
Okay. Come
Got a
back
longer
in
face.
full wide video. I'm going to get a little closer.
Goodness, there's so much life.
I'd call that a swarm.
Okay, watch leads. I'm just getting a little closer first.
Okay, great. Thank you, pilot.
Amazed that squid is so tolerant of us.
Good morning, Okeanos. Mike Vecchione here.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hello, Mike. How are you?
Hey, let me mute my computer so we don't get feedback. So we're seeing two kinds of squid.
Now, video.
And what's on my screen right now is an ilex.
Okay.
Those are the ones that go down and sit on the bottom. But the more transparent ones that are a little bit longer and skinnier and have longer arms and tentacles are Brachiotephus beanii.
Talking about.
And I guess there's a common name for it, but I guess it's an armed squid, Brachiotephus.
Am I kicking that up?
I also wanted to mention that we are seeing Barracuda, but also there were some longer, skinnier ones that don't have the obvious caudal fin, the tail fin.
Uh-huh.
I think those might be trichurids.
Notice where the current's coming
trawling north of there, we get a lot of
That's great.
Great, thank you.
You don't think those are Nemicthiid snipe eels?
Oh, no, the snipe eels are different. Snipe eels are just basically long and wormy looking.
Yeah.
They sure are.
So you are talking about the long, skinny, but shiny ones.
The trichurids and the barracudinas stay really straight in the water, and they're really shiny on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a hard time telling those two groups apart. Because both of them have species that have more or less obvious tails. So I really wish that one of the fish people would call in and talk about those.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's about 8 minutes.
The squids are it's really interesting to see the Brachiotephus here, because we consistently see them in this area at this time of year.
Okay. Was it this time of year that you documented the spawning?
0.1 for right now.
I'd have to look at the paper, but it's sometime in the summertime.
Okay.
Based on Johnson Sea Link dives.
Decimal 1, and then we can speed it up. We're shallow.
And it wasn't in the canyon, though, right?
Copy that.
It was in the Cape Hatteras area. There's an ilex sitting on the bottom right now.
Make another group of 30
with a dark band across it. That's a very typical color pattern when they're sitting on the bottom. It sort of disrupts their shape.
Okay.
And actually, the inshore squids do the same thing and have the same color pattern when they're doing it. Doryteuthis.
Okay, come on.
But these are the short fin squids.
ROV nav bridge move initiated.
Very important commercial species. They're the most abundant squids in the western North Atlantic.
Okay.
And there was probably other stuff I was going to say, but I don't know what it was.
Well, that was a lot. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll keep watching and call in if I get excited again.
So,
okay, please do.
I'm sitting
All right.
down
Thanks
a little bit
so much.
too fast, or
If you sit down at all,
and that was Mike Vecchione from the Smithsonian Institution.
The reality of it.
Okay.
So fine that, and the current is coming from.
We still haven't seen the pout eel go into a burrow, but several of them have been resting at the entrances.
So
we saw the head of one, but we really
fly,
couldn't see if it was really in the burrow or just resting in the entrance.
Yep.
It sure does seem like this is a nursery for eel
pouts
with all of the little ones.
Crazy how many there are.
I've never seen that many of these guys.
Like that. And rather than
I've been to places,
still,
at least in Monterey Bay, where they're this common.
Okay.
I think it just depends on the habitat.
Okay. So like you'll start drifting one way,
and in the
and
deep
maybe it's a
sea,
little
there's
too far, so you
very
adjust
often
the other way, and you just
patchy,
try to keep your
congregations
your
of organisms.
Good, and try to just keep yourself from
some of those
into the
are
bottom.
around the structures,
so
centered around the structures
that
corals create. But then there are places
really
like this that are not a very obvious three-dimensional structure, but something here that
push against it just a little bit.
Well, at least right now there's a lot of marine snow that'll settle down and
one way and drift a little the other
provide
way
some food for some of the organisms.
So,
okay,
whatever ends up working for you.
And if suggested shrimp are in your diet, you're
no
definitely
kidding.
in luck.
Maybe that's what pout eels actually eat. We just don't know it.
You just gotta try to get the shot when you can, and then they'll zip out of your shot.
Yeah, I've never actually seen this many suggested this close, just right above the bottom. It's common to go through a layer in the water column, but we are relatively shallow, 496 meters.
And Amanda Demopoulos made a great observation. We'll have to zoom in again and look, but she said that the sediments just below the surface appear to be reduced and dark, meaning lack of oxygen in the underlying sediments. Of course, the sediments on the surface are exposed to the oxygenated waters, but just beneath, if they're buried rapidly, they may be removed from that oxygen and become a reducing environment.
So how is it an inch or two of the surface sediment that would be oxygenated?
I don't know. I didn't see it myself, so, and it just depends on the environment.
Yeah, it probably is different every place.
Yeah, we certainly didn't see that with the other sediment-covered areas where there were burrows. Everything was still very light-colored.
It's just amazing that even when we come to habitats that are sedimented like this, they have different fauna. I mean, some of them will overlap, but some of them don't. Each one has its own characteristics as far as the organisms that we see. Oh, and there's another one of the squid.
Brachioteuthis, yeah. Beanie eye.
Nope. A little bit of ink expelled.
One what? Okay. Try and get a little bit closer to that burrow. Okay, you can go in partial.
I meant the ones in the lower right, but we go over that.
So I guess, Amanda, that's what you were referring to, the darker sediments.
So it's
Oh,
below.
look at that baby
Yeah.
eel pout.
There's one on the top right there.
Yeah, in other areas where organisms have burrowed and made little mounds, the mounds have been lighter in color. And here they are darker in color, indicating that reducing environment, as Amanda suggested, and I definitely would tend to agree.
There you go. Just back up a little bit.
Thanks for that observation. I was
Try to hold that.
much more interested in who was living in them. And I'm a geologist.
Yes,
I should
sir.
be paying attention to
Turn your
the
head a little bit,
sediments.
trying to get forward, so just push back. And just
That's one of the
little
great things is
little
the biologists are learning some
Okay.
geology, and the geologists are, you already knew a lot of the biology after all your work, but
Only in general
There you
terms.
go.
so that's a very small burrow. That could be
Yeah,
something
really.
that this guy would live in, escape to.
Slight tilt down. There we go, that's perfect.
Pilot, can we turn on the lasers just so we all have a better feel for how small these are?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so those are 10 centimeters apart, and his total length is probably 10 centimeters.
Mm-hmm.
Video's clear.
Okay, thanks, video.
So you do it.
Cool. Okay. It's like the surface, ascend.
Yeah, I think you have a current that's coming up from behind, so
Mhm.
it's pushing you up. And, you know, you might have to
So Leslie, does
adjust
it
your
say
Z
something
bias.
about the sediments
Yeah,
here
bring it
that
in a little bit.
larger
a little
burrows
higher.
like that
I mean, it's sort
remain
of,
and don't
you might
get
adjust it, and then you
infilled
might get
with
to
more
another area and
sediment?
the current drops, and then you're sinking.
That they
Like, it's just
remain?
one of those.
Yeah,
You mean
the
that-
walls stay.
Yeah.
And it might be the difference
Well,
of,
the
like,
sediments
one
below the
or two
surface are
notches on
more
that knob.
compacted just from
So-
the weight of the overlying material, and there is a lot of very fine grain material in these sediments, so little compaction allows the clay minerals to compress, and they stick together a little better.
Good
They-
place for burrows.
Yeah, they have slight positive, negative charges to them that make them a little more cohesive, and so that they're a little more firm than before they get compacted.
That looks like some recently active digging or something, that the gray sediments are exposed.
Yeah, those are.
Maybe it's one of those echiurine worms that's been out eating.
Those long tongue-like
Yeah.
worms. Yeah.
It's definitely squid ink going by in the water column.
It
I
is.
was
Yeah.
thinking
I'm
that.
surprised it's so green.
Just the lights.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a nice view of this snipe eel.
Wow, look at that jaw on it. It's like tweezers.
Perfect for catching all these suggestids.
Huh.
Alright, pilot,
Well,
video.
the snipe eels won't be hungry today.
Yep, just stand by video. Yeah, pilot, I am looking down.
All the
5,
shadows.
so just take a couple moments here.
Okay, I just want to make sure everything's...
Whoa.
Hey guys.
It's really hard to look at the bottom. There's so much going on in the water column.
Have to address this. Alright, I'll push ahead here. Looking down at me at 90. Jeez.
Yeah,
Busy today.
All of these critters are also kicking up sediment, as you can see it blowing.
Oh yeah.
So we are at a depth now of about 490 meters. We began just about 510 meters. And we are moving up on the backbone of a ridge within the Hatteras Submarine Canyon. We are once again on the lee side of the current, of the Gulf Stream's current. We would love to have been on the opposite wall, but it's just not safe for the vehicle with these steep and narrow canyons to have the ROV being pushed into the edges. So we had to opt for this side.
Okay.
As we climb higher, we might be moving into stronger currents.
Have we seen these guys feeding already, video?
We have not.
Okay. I'm in a bit safer place right now. Look at this.
Squid's actually pushing himself inside.
What is that on my port?
That's an eel. One of those snipe eels.
It looks like he might be stuck in your
It's great watching them
box.
swim with their little legs.
For a little while.
Yes.
Oh, something's up here. Different kind of fish coming into center top.
Go ahead. Can you do a zoom on a video?
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't even know what that fish was.
Yeah, we
It's
haven't
either
seen.
it's
Yeah, I
definitely.
think it's
there he is.
got
Good.
Oh, there he
stuck
is.
in the hinge or something.
Oh. It's not very cooperative.
My goodness.
There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
Reminds me of Wizard of Oz when she's going up in the tornado. And she sees the woman on the bicycle, the witch on the bicycle.
Let's hope we don't see any flying monkeys.
Yeah, probably just beware. I only have one set of lights on to try to keep you.
That's how you know you've been on the ship too long, if you start seeing flying monkeys.
Turn all lights off. And that's
Well, then I won't say anything if I do.
just for reference.
Copy that. We just check up the
I think you should say something, Leslie, because you won't be the only one.
Well, I can leave this one on. Kind of helps.
Let's talk about my lights.
Oh, okay. I just put my second one on. That's. I think we're okay. Okay, coming back down. Just hoping to escape a little bit of that, but it doesn't look like it's an isolated
I see that.
dust storm.
Pilot, can I tilt?
Oh, look at this great
heading down for a second.
view of the snipe eels
Yeah,
ahead.
go for it.
Attempt to look at tether.
I want to put it down gently and see how we look. Because they told me it was very soft. Wow.
It's a nice snipe eel ahead if we can image it.
Talking about ahead of us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, give it a try. Pretty far out there.
Yeah. Have to get one. Have to get one more in the light.
Yeah, we'll get one. We'll come in.
Yeah, I'm afraid there'll be no distant viewing today.
Co-pilot, are you ready for a move?
Yeah, I pilot about 40 degrees my camera.
Okay, your bearing is 215.
215, Copy.
We're about 225 meters away. So we'll just keep moving slow.
Sounds like a plan. Right now I'm looking at, let's see, 225. Is that heading still where?
Let's come about to 215.
215. Copy.
If that works for you guys.
Come center.
Sure. A lateral over.
Yeah. We need to rotate a little port.
Although upslope kind of looks like 240, but it's so gradual.
Yeah, but I'm not able to get good views of the tether at all.
Okay.
I have no reason to suspect anything's wrong, but I do not have
Bridge, ROV nav.
That's copy. We'll do what we can.
Go ahead, RV nav.
Can I please get a ship move?
Sure.
30 meters, bearing 215 degrees, 0.1.
30 meters, bearing 215, speed 0.1.
Good copy.
Maybe not go forward anymore until I get shot.
Copy that.
Because they're just kind of disappearing.
Yeah, I'm just kind of lateraling over.
Copy.
RV nav bridge, move initiated.
I'm going to try turning my lights off for a second.
Okay.
Copy, bridge.
I'll come back actually a little bit.
So, as much as a biosample of a fish would be good, we might need to see if we can shake
serious camera.
You got a suggestion for that?
Just
a quick heading turn.
Just actual shaking.
Like. May have done it. I don't think it's going to do it. Hard to tell.
Okay.
No, it looks like he's still there.
Alright, I'm going to come up a little bit and get out of this.
Okay, I kind of have you untethered there. That looks good.
Yeah, I'm going to come back a little bit.
Yeah, and keep lateraling. A little bit. So I'm pretty much lined
he's still
up
there.
now.
I can pull him off the craft.
But I think you're keep coming back. I think you're pulling me.
Coming back.
Well, by now you may have guessed that we have a passenger.
Poor unexpecting snipe eel made its way into the holes of the rock box.
Yeah, we were hoping he'd get away and we wouldn't have to worry about him. But we just put the view of him stuck in our box, or on our box, really, on screen 3 if you want to take a look.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, it looks like he's jammed his mouth part into the crack opening of the
maybe box. He just doesn't want to let go. He's hoping it's food.
I'm thinking he does want to let go at this point.
I imagine so.
We're going to try to lift the lid on that and see if he can free himself.
Is just gonna,
might make it worse.
It's going to crush the opening. So I think we'll just leave him where he is.
This might be the first capture of a snipe eel by the D2.
Or by anybody. It'd be pretty tough to capture one.
Actually, it has happened in the past. One of them actually got stuck in a piece of Velcro.
Oh, wow. Velcro, huh?
Yeah, just their little mouth and teeth are so small.
Wow.
It actually came all the way to the surface and was sampled.
No kidding.
Okay, right now I'm lateraling at about 50.
Copy. I think,
Oh boy, Mike Vecchione said that the snipe eel's teeth are backward pointing like barbs so that they're hard to disentangle whatever's in their mouths. So.
Yep, exactly.
shiny fish just went off screen top in the distance.
This guy?
Yep.
Hey, go ahead and zoom in. Don't know if it's going to be a good shot, though.
So silvery.
Yeah. Don't think zoom's going to be our friend today. Too much stuff to look through.
Agreed. Come on out. See if there's anything right here.
Some more fresh burrows there. Just in front of D2. Looks like maybe some rocks, a couple little small rocks on the right.
I don't know if that's...
You want to take a look?
Yeah,
sure.
Right over here.
That would be a good sign. Maybe they tumbled down from above.
Go ahead, video.
Well, they do look like aggregations of something. Whether or not they came from being excavated, it's hard to tell. At least with those. Those look like more clumps of that reduced mud maybe from below, but can we get a zoom on that bigger one?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Go ahead,
That's
video.
a big clump if that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what we find upslope.
Coming out.
There's a shiny fish with his head in the sand.
You're starting to go up just
Can we get the
on
shiny
the edge
fish?
of my starboard screen.
Copy.
Blinding reflection of that.
No, I've had to put someone that starts to get back over there. Video, it's just going to cover him. Tell you what, I'm going to turn into it. Let's see what we can go find. Okay.
I think these are steeper slopes than what we saw from the profiles.
Yeah, they do look very steep.
So it's good.
Come on in, video.
And one thing we'll want to keep our eyes peeled for during this dive is bubble plumes emanating from the seafloor.
Come on out. I think we're just going to fly this direction like that. We can work our way back and forth up there.
Amanda Demopoulos suggested the dark lumps of mud might have been subsurface. Yeah.
Your best bet.
Oh, and maybe this is a gassy area, or was. That would.
There are many bubble plumes that have been detected by Carolyn Ruppel of the USGS, U.S. Geological Survey, towards the top of this canyon. And there is one bubble plume that might come within our dive track here, and maybe we'll see that.
And that would account for the low oxygen or reducing environments that we are seeing sort of outcropping from the excavation of these burrows, the darker sediments. So it's interesting how even on the surface this looks very similar to now 3 dives that we've had that are just muddy sloped areas with mounds, but it's really quite different. Certainly the biology is very different already, and now we're seeing in the subsurface there is less oxygen. So we do have a different environment, even though the sediments at the surface
come on in video. We can
are
frame
very,
that
very
guy up
similar.
and see. That's a giant shrimp.
That's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a very big shrimp. And that looks like a different shrimp than we've seen so far.
Too much sediment in the shot.
Copy that.
That's blacks are completely crushed.
Alright, lasers coming off. Perfect.
It's a lot bigger than the other ones.
It sure
Down
is.
about 80 degrees.
Great. Thank you, co-pilot. I'll push out again. Actually,
And
where
you
are we
see how
on the
small
move?
the
move's just
eel
about
pout
complete.
is also.
Copy.
And the
put it in a 50
surgestids
meter
too
move.
gives you a good
50,
idea
50?
about the
50,
tiny
same thing.
surgestids compared to this
Same
bigger
direction
shrimp.
and speed.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Bridge, ROV nav.
Go ahead,
Drive
Arvina.
with lasers.
Yeah, I like the lasers on too.
Looks like that move is complete.
Yep, just about complete.
All right, can we add another one?
Sure.
50 meters, bearing 215, 0.1.
Okay, 50 meters bearing 215, speed decimal 1.
Good copy, thank you, Bridge.
Arvina bridge, move complete.
There's edge here.
So that's
Sorry, Arvina, move initiated.
40
All right,
degree slope,
thanks.
roughly.
What's that?
Is there a 40-degree slope? Right.
That's a really neat
45.
Move is in,
landscape
50
view,
meters.
seascape,
Copy that nav, 50.
staring off into the abyss. Tammy Frank points out that that was a heterocarpus shrimp that we were just looking at, the large one.
That looks steeper there.
Yeah. Figured I'll turn back towards it.
Can I look down at tether real quick?
Yep, go for it.
It's just coming into view. Nicely.
Definitely steeper.
Yeah, looks good. Alright, come
See, you
back.
have some of the slumping of the sediments on the left that we just passed. These sediments are just cohesive enough so that they don't spill down the slope like loose sand would. Just able to stick together. Can we see what the white objects are on the left?
The ones that are off screen there?
Yeah, they just went off screen. Sorry.
Go ahead, video.
That might be one of those tongue-like worms, retracted.